Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Looks like you need a vacation. Enter the 5-Hour Energy Where Will the Tide Take You sweepstakes. You could win a $10,000 dream beach vacation. Imagine jet setting off to a tropical paradise, having fun in the sun, or diving at a gorgeous reef. It's up to you. No purchase necessary. Go to 5HETide.com for official rules and to enter. That's 5HETide.com. Enter today. Ends June 30th, 2024.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Hello and welcome to One on One here on Metro TV. I am Bright Nana Kwesi Aminin, and tonight I am sitting in for Bridget Otu. Conversations surrounding election come December 7th. A number of coalitions, movement are springing up. What exactly is the motive for all these coalitions and movements? Are Ghanaians even ready for something like this? I'll be speaking to one of the members of one of the many coalitions springing up here in Ghana as we build up for election 2024 here. Don't go anywhere. After this quick 10, I will tell you who my guest is here on the show tonight. So stay with us. We are back from the break with more. Welcome back to One on One. And tonight, my guest here is OWURA Ntim AgYarko, and he is the founder and leader of People's Liberation Front and also the diaspora leader for Grand Coalition Ghana. And it's all about movement and alliances that are being formed ahead of the next elections in December. Are Ghanaians even ready for such coalition and movement? And also, what are their take on how the Electoral Commission is even managing elections and some discussions concerning elections and all that. Welcome to One on One.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here tonight.
Thank you.
I'm grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
Now,
nice to meet you here.
First of all, why the many movements and alliances we are experiencing now? Why? This is like the third one we are actually seeing. The first was when Alan Kwadwo left the MPP and formed his own movement for change and came together to form another alliance with Abu Sakara, Dr. Abu Sakara. And now we are having this.
Okay. The coalition is what Ghanaians are looking for. Ghanaians are looking for a credible alternative to NDC and NPP. Every time there is election, people are left with only 2 choices, either NDC or NPP. Much as they don't like what is going on, their only choice is either NDC or NPP. And so you ask, why are there so many political parties and they cannot make any choice out of them? These small political parties are in bed with either NDC or NPP, and they are not actually credible political parties looking to take power from the NDC and NPP. So they just hanging in there, getting people around, but they know the ultimate goal is not to win power. The only party that came up that was actually ready to take power also came in very late, Chirabosun. That is the only, GUM was the only party that actually made effort to change the power dynamics in the country. The rest are all in the pockets of either NDC or NPP.
How sure are you? Because we have Hassan Ariga of APC. We have, like you mentioned, GUM. We also have this gentleman from I've forgotten his name.
Apalu
and all that.
And Ayariga.
And I've already mentioned Ayariga and all that. Now, and a number of other small political parties. But how sure are you that they are not their main focus is not to take power from these two parties we have, the NDC and the NPP?
Okay, Kofi Apalu and Ayariga were all part of this Grand Coalition.
Which coalition? Are you talking about the
Grand Coalition Ghana?
Right.
They were all part of it. But then, as the discussion was going on, Kofi Apalu deleted himself. He said he can't be part of it. Why? He didn't give any reason. Ayariga said he's gone for his conference and he's been selected as the leader of that party, presidential candidate. It will cost him. It costs him a lot of money. Who is going to pay that money for him if he has to join us? If he doesn't join us, he's going to join somebody who will pay his costs for him. And that is the bottom line.
Was that the condition Hassan Ariga gave your members?
Yes.
That you pay for the money
I spoke to him personally. I was on the phone with him. It's not like he's talking to other people. I am a leader of the coalition. Actually, I am the one who brought everybody together. There is one, Misafo, he brought all the people into a coalition, and they were on one platform. But I saw that there wasn't much going on in terms of having anything concrete. So I created a platform and invited all the presidential aspirants only to that platform. And
are you talking about the smaller political parties?
Yes.
Right.
The only two political parties we did not contact them are NPP and NDC because we share no connection with them. Their vision and our vision are totally opposed to each other. And that is the reason we could not invite either NDC or NPP.
But it looks like even your own coalition has cracks in there because your members are not even willing to align by your goals and all that. Is that not a problem?
Well, you see,
because you mentioned Hassan Ariga, who was part of your coalition, had to exit because he says until his money invested in his campaign is paid for to him. And also, you had Apalu also exiting without even giving you any excuse.
Okay. That doesn't mean we have any cracks in the coalition. You're talking about 12 entities. And if two give their reason or no reason why they cannot be part of us, it doesn't mean there is any crack. We have 10 who are solid behind what we intend to do. And there are 5 basic things that keep all of us together. And I don't think there will be any cracks because we all believe in those 5 things.
Now, I have some names here that of persons you seem to be targeting to be members of the coalition, hoping to exit the two main political parties, the NDC and the NPP. And I'm seeing here Alan Kodishamantin, Nana Kwame Bediako of moving, what's the name? A New Force. And also we have Mr. Christian Kwabena Andrew, also for Chabosom, Kwame Esir Walker, Kofi Kranten, OWURA Ntim Agyaarko, Apostle Augustine Yao, Sapon Kumankuma Dakwa, Reverend Dr. Samuel Wolanyo Mensa, Mr. Eduardo Hene Che, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, Mr. Percival Kofi Apalu, Kosi Adai Odike, Kenneth Kwame Asamoah, Richmond Owusu Frimpong, and Nkrumah Teria Hemans, Dr. Henry Lati, Madam Equia Donko, CP flag bearer, which CP don't have a flag bearer yet.
No,
but we know that a couple of them have actually stated their intentions. I know of Nana Kuma. You spoke to her?
Yes.
You approached her? Okay, we'll come to that. And also PNC as well. Who is leading PNC as we speak?
PNC, I spoke to one of their leaders. That was the time they were that was the time they were in court. And after the court issue, I spoke to Reverend J. Deborah.
Right.
And he said, now the court case is being resolved. They're going to meet at their leadership level and they will consider joining our coalition.
Right.
So with them, they have to get their presidential candidate and they are willing to join the coalition.
So I have 22 names here, including Kwesi Obeng-Tano and 4 other names that don't have, or parties that don't have representatives yet, including the CPP, PNC, PPP, and NDP. Out of these 22 persons or these 22 political parties, how many do you have now?
So far, we have 12, and we are looking at reaching everybody. Actually, Kofi Kranten is not part of us. Kofi Kranten has his own issues.
Which issues? Did he discuss that with you?
Not quite. So let's not even go into it. He has his own issues that he will have to deal with, but he's not going to be a member of the coalition. And he told us, he made a commitment. He paid his commitment fee.
How much is that?
Commitment fee is $2,000 for the conference we just had. He paid and he eventually withdrew from the coalition.
Did persons like Hassan Arega and Apali also pay?
No, they did not because they don't want to be a part of the coalition. And we are looking at, and this is also one of the reasons why we did not elect a flag bearer. We are looking at having one grand coalition for Ghana. You rightly mentioned there are 3 coalitions. Alan Chairmantin cannot win elections. Neither can any single group win the elections here in Ghana. But when we all come together and we put our forces together, we can floor both NDC and NPP.
You don't think the combination of Alan Chairmantin and Dr. Abu Sakara is a good one?
That is not going to go anywhere if Abu Sakara's participation in any group will help the group. Let us see when he led CPP. That resulted in a big conflict and fragmentation within CPP. And CPP has not fully recovered from that. And I can say that his participation with Alan Chairmantin is going to result in something similar.
What do you mean by that?
Reason I am saying that is, soon as Alan's group came up with the coalition, he came out right after that the coalition was premature. He did not even know they were going on air. There were extenuating circumstances, and that was our coalition, how we were coming out. So that is what prompted them to come out immediately to make an announcement, which they were not ready for. And so looking at it from that angle, you see that the crack is already there. Between the two of them, who is going to be the presidential candidate, I am not even going to speculate on that. And so we see right from the get-go, the two coalitions, there's a problem.
Now, let's look at some of the names you have on your list. Somebody like Nana Kwame, popularly known as Cheddar. Have you spoken to him?
We've had some talks with him. I personally had a chat with him on WhatsApp. And
when was this?
This was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And I am looking forward to meeting him personally. Once I am here in Ghana, I want to meet with him. And because we're looking at bringing everybody together. If we had gone ahead to elect a leader and say, this is our flag bearer, we leave a lot of people out. And this is not about any one group or one person. What we are looking for is bigger than any individual. We're talking about the soul of Ghana. And so personal ambition, individual interest or personal interest all has to give way for patriotism. Ghana is what we are looking for, Ghana first. So I am willing, well, we have, I would say, the largest political party within the coalition. I will not say because PLF, we are in all the 275 constituencies and we have vibrant youth supporting the group, I should be the leader. No.
But for now, we can say, because you only have 12 members, and so among the 12 members, you believe you are the only political party with the largest of mileage.
Action People's Party also has a lot of people. Right. And then there is Begin Ghana. They are also making inroads in the nation. But of the three, I would say that PLF has been everywhere. And we are looking at building a stronger coalition. So no one person should put himself above the rest and say, okay, I have the money, I have the men, I have this, I have that. That is not necessary at this time.
But 9 months to elections, how then don't you have a leader yet? You have to market the leader to Ghanaians, have Ghanaians believe in whoever you are going to choose and all that. And you don't have any by now. You know that it wouldn't end well, but you are still going ahead to do it.
We are projecting that by June, we are ready to bring our leader to the nation.
That'll be 5 months to elections.
Yes. Even what happened in Senegal, it took 3 weeks for that change to take place. When people are desirous of making change, when they look at the cost of living, their environment, when people are sick and they go to hospital and they are on the floor, there are no medications and all those things, the difficulties we're seeing in Ghana when we have resources that should make everybody live comfortably. But for bad leadership, the nation is struggling. When Ghanaians find all these things out, even if it's left...
You don't think Ghanaians know all these things already?
Ghanaians know, but then they don't have any alternative. That's why they go for either NDC or NPP. And so if we are putting in everything within the last 5 months to the elections, Ghanaians will get to know what is going on in the country very well, because we are going to send mobile vans to the villages to show them what is going on. Somebody may be, say, in Bosuso, has not seen how River Pra looks like. And so when you're talking about River Pra on radio or TV, they don't know what is going on.
Right.
But if you bring the mobile van to them, that this is what your government is doing to you, they will not have anything to do with the government, neither with NDC or NPP. And that is what we are looking for.
Now, I want to find out, how long has the People's Liberation Front been in existence?
People's Liberation Front has been in existence for over 1.5 years. Prior to that, we have People's Redemption Alliance. That was an NGO doing cleanup campaign and all those things, trying to help the people. But here too, it created some problems for some individuals, and the political system in the country did everything possible to destroy PRA.
What do you mean by that? What did they do? What were the problems you faced by their system?
National security officers, police officers, some individuals, they sent all of them, MPP members, they all became members, and then eventually 50 for 50, buying out members for 50, so that eventually they destroyed the same way that fixing the country, that is what they did to destroy.
Mr. Jaco, I'm confused. They were buying, what do you mean 50 by 50? I'm a bit confused. Kindly, let's make it a bit clear for the people watching us out there.
Kofi Krantin's group, right, send people to PRA. If you bring 50 people, there was that in Safuahini, who is part of NPP, by pretending to be somebody else. They were all into buying the votes. If you we get 50 people, we give you 50 cedis, and then they were pulling the people to Kofi Krantin's platform. That is how they did it. And Kofi Krantin, when I confronted him, said he knew nothing about it, that people were using his name to do these diabolic things. He wasn't aware of it.
But why don't you seem convinced by the whatever he told you?
Well, it is his word. He said he has no knowledge of it, and he had become part of the coalition, and so it actually didn't matter whether he did it or not. The point is, members of the coalition are not competing against each other. We want the coalition members to continue to expand into every part of the country, increase their membership, because at the end of the day, we are all going to select candidates from each political party depending on the strength of that candidate within that constituency, and all the parties are going to support that one person. So it may be a person who might have been with Kofi Kranting. So why do I have to be fighting Kofi Kranting if that will destroy that candidate? We want that strong candidate, a person that I will be willing to support. So what's the need fighting Kofi Kranting? And that was the reason why I just let go.
I asked this question earlier, but I think I'm going to ask you again. 9 months to election.
Yes.
Nothing is happening. And you intend to announce or elect or nominate your leader in June, which will be 5 months to elections. Isn't it too late for this?
5 months is not late at all.
Why didn't you start this earlier? Maybe right after the last election, 2020 elections, you would have started this to ensure that you send out the message out there for Ghanaians to know that there is a coalition or alliance as a third force that you are looking out for, or the party is looking out for.
I wasn't looking at the coalition. I was looking at building PLF until Mr. Afo created the platform and brought in all the other political leaders. I was even upset with Mr. Afo for taking some of the members of PLF and sending them there. So I joined to observe, originally not to be a part of the coalition. I joined to observe. Then I realized that there is strength if we can bring all of them together, all the aspirants. And that is why I started the coalition that will bring in all the aspirants without their other leaders. And when I brought them in and we started talking, we all came to the point that we have 5 basic things that join all of us together. Everybody has those 5 things that they want to achieve.
Which are these 5 things?
1, we're looking at having an upper house of parliament where all our chiefs, the chiefs in Ghana, and significant people in the country will become the upper house. This upper house will have the power to appoint, dismiss, instead of the president appointing. The president can only nominate, something like the army commander, the army chief, and all those things. And then the parliament will investigate them, but the real appointment will have to come from the upper house. Just as it says in the United States and other places, the House of Lords in UK. Why do we have the president being the one to sign? So the allegiance then goes to the president instead of the allegiance going to the state. We want a situation where the IGP's allegiance is to the state. The chief, the army commander, Air Force commander, chief of defense staff, everybody's allegiance is to the state. And when that happens, all the craziness of somebody making a phone call because his nephew or niece has been arrested will come to an end. Because any one of the chiefs can cause any ministry to be investigated. Because they become very powerful. Just as senators, one senator was able to hold the entire United States budget, that if we don't get results on this, we are not releasing it. For 120 days, one person. And that is exactly what we can do here. If we get our chiefs, the paramount chiefs, all become the upper house, and they are responsible to their people, they are responsible to the nation, and their office is permanent because by virtue of being chiefs, they is not permanent as members of the upper house, but they are traditional leaders and their position is permanent. If we have a system like that, Ghana will be in a better place. All the corruption will come to an end. And we need to do something. Yes, there are a lot of corrupt chiefs in the country. You ask me, how are they corrupt? When the resources of the nation are in the hands of a few, right? But then their responsibilities have been taken away from them. So they have the resources, no responsibility. They do whatever they want with it. A chief will sell one land to 3, 4, 5 people. And in the olden days, the chief will sit and adjudicate on cases of that nature. Now you go to him and say, take it to court. So he doesn't even, and then it will take about 60 years. That chief who sold the land is dead. 60 years, case is lingering in court. If the person who started the case was 40 years, 60 years, 100 years, already dead. And so justice delayed is justice denied. And that is what is going on in Ghana. And we need to put a stop to it.
Right. I'm still here with OWURA Ntim Agyaarko. He is the founder and leader of People Liberation Front and also the leader, the diaspora leader of Grand Coalition Ghana. We are talking about the emergence of alliances, movements, coalitions who are all seeking to take power from both the NDC and the NPP. To say they want to collapse the duopoly system we almost have here in our political system here in Ghana. Don't go nowhere. It's the 1 here on Metro TV. A quick time we come back. We'll be talking about claimed missing BVDs and claimed missing laptops. 5 persons arrested and 4 persons remanded and all that. What exactly is happening in Ghana? Stay with us. We are back with more. Welcome back. And OWURA Ntim Agyaarko is still my guest here on 101. He's the leader for the diasporans for Grand Coalition Ghana and founder and leader also for People's Liberation Front. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Now, recently there have been a lot of issues concerning the activities of the Electoral Commission. Let's begin with the missing laptops as claimed by the opposition NDC Minority in Parliament, BVDs. What do you make of that? I believe you've been following that.
Oh, yes, I have. And the missing items tells you that EC system is porous. They are not running a tight shift. So, for these missing items, they have to start looking for why it got lost from the top, not from the bottom. They could be looking at people working there. What system do they have in place to ensure that these equipment, because of their high security nature, are kept under tight security and that nobody will have access to it? It's used for elections. And so if somebody negated on their responsibility and did not put in place that tight security, that is where we have to start looking for. And not the secretaries and the junior staff working there that, oh, somebody took it. The person who took it may want, let's say, the laptop for his child or do something with it. Let's assume. But who made it possible for that laptop to be missing? Who has the responsibility of ensuring that all the equipment of EC are protected? That is where the investigation should start from. What resources did you put in place? You see, Ghana, every time there is a situation like this, they leave the top and go to the bottom to look for solutions. And so they come up with things that are baseless. I hold the Electoral Commissioner responsible for the missing items. And that is the person everybody in the nation should hold responsible. And with this, she should even resign her position as the EC because she cannot maintain security of national equipment. And that is the starting point. Other than that, any investigation, anything that they will do is just going to be like, okay, we're doing investigation, we'll come up with something, and nothing actually will happen. At the end of the day, these 5 people that have been arrested, they may be let off, and nobody will even know what has happened to them. They're going to jail, they're going to hear, and nothing will happen. So we need to hold the top of the Electoral Commission and all his officers, the top officers who have access to or making sure that the equipment are safe, they should be held responsible.
The minority at the NDC are quite worried that the MP government might have a hand in it, and also it could be or could serve as a source of rigging of elections come December 7th. What is your worry here?
You see, this equipment can change the results of the elections. So, all the equipment, because 5 has been compromised with, is not there, and it could be used to rig the election. Then all those equipment that cost millions of dollars has to be discarded, and a new set that has no resemblance to this one brought in.
In our next elections, we should do that?
Well, if we are looking for credible elections, these 5 missing equipment can rig the results no matter what. Somebody can sit in their homes and change the election results and everything. So why do we have to compromise the safety of the nation? The security of the nation is paramount. So that is what we have to be concerned about. What has happened is something dangerous to the state. So whether you vote or not, if NPP has a hand in it, then we are going to have MPP government in place, regardless whether they win or lose. We're going to have MPP government in place when we know definitely that the equipment has been compromised. Why don't we put it aside and get new ones altogether? And
that
this
will cost the country a lot of money.
It will cost the country a lot of money, and this is the reason why I'm saying that heads have to roll. The head of the Electoral Commission need to step down.
Has it taken too long?
Yeah, it's taking too long. She should have stepped down long time when these things came up. All the top officers need to be removed, and then a credible force put in place. But even with that, they have to change the equipment. We cannot be going through this.
As we speak, with all these issues back and forth and all that, how worried should Ghanaians be ahead of the elections?
Well, Ghanaians should be very, very worried that regardless of the best effort of citizens, we are going to have MPP breaking the 8, and it is stealing the elections, period.
So you believe that after December 7, MP will break the 8? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, MPP is going to win the election by rigging it, and so we need to change the equipment and possibly remove the people at the top who made it possible for the equipment to be missing.
And as a concerned citizen and someone who also wants to help change the fortunes of the country and all that, what do you and your group intend to do?
Well, because we have not elected our leaders, these issues, we are tabling it. It doesn't mean we're not going to address it. We are going to take this matter up seriously, and we want the elections to be credible. And for a credible elections, we cannot use compromise system. The system right now is compromised. We cannot use it. We need something credible. And so EC may have to come up with an alternative to this equipment, if we have to have a credible elections.
Right, and I know that some people might resort to either petitioning the EC or petitioning Parliament for further investigations, in as much as we know that it's happening already. Investigations are happening already. Maybe a petition. So what action do you really want to take, aside the fact that you are still waiting to elect your leaders and all that?
Well, I don't want to say it loud at this time, but at any rate, we will petition the Supreme Court.
When are you looking to do this?
Our leaders are going to meet with our chairman ending of this month, and when we meet, we are going to take this up seriously. We're going to petition the Supreme Court.
I want to find out what the context of your petition will be like. Is it a
either
request
we
to have
find
the EC
either
removed?
we find the equipment, or the government will have to change all the equipment, buy new ones, and discard what is already there. It's going to cost money, but it's better to spend money and have peace than to use 40 equipments, bring in illegitimate government, and throw it to the people that you're forcing the people to take an illegitimate government. And a government that is illegitimate because they did not win the election squarely are not going to have peace of mind in the nation. And so we're going to have a lot of conflicts and skirmishes that may not be in the national interest. We need to have peace, and to have peace, we have to get new ones.
Now, just this past Wednesday, 17th of April, Wednesday, the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, together with the Energy Minister, Napo, as it's popularly called, were in Kumasi for the relocation of the Ameri plant, now known as the Kumasi 1 power plant. Lots of conversations have been had. The NDC believe that there should be an investigation concerning the amount spent on the relocation, $38 million and all that. I believe you've heard, you've seen it, you've read articles and all that on it. What do you make of that?
Well, it's getting to elections. The parties need money. So, whatever they would do to get the money they want is what they are doing. So, I won't say that what they are doing actually is in the best interest of the nation, given the dollar value. Something that may cost $1 million, they can bring it to you as $100 million. Just add a zero to it, or double zeros. And that is the problem. We call it stealing the zeros. And that is something both NDC and MPP have been doing all this time. Stealing the zeros. That's what they've been doing. So, and this is why, one of the reasons why Ghanaians need to get rid of both NDC and MPP. Because if we're looking at probity and accountability, we are not getting it through NDC and MPP.
Is that not why we had the MPP government bringing in the special prosecutor and all that?
The special prosecutor, who appointed him? Who appointed the special prosecutor? So he is in bed with the person who appointed him. And this is also the reason why we're saying that we need a second house. So appointments of this nature is outside the presidency. And we have the National House of Chiefs or the upper house of parliament making those appointments, and then they give report to that house instead of giving it to the presidency. The presidency has too much power, and absolute power corrupt absolutely.
I've seen a couple of your releases that actually calls for an all-inclusive governance.
Yes.
You want the winner-takes-all policy to be scrapped and rather make it, an all-inclusive one. Tell me, why do you think this particular one will work?
Okay. When you have winner-takes-all, even places they did not win, by virtue of having won the presidency, they put in their people. And so we have 137, right? NDC and MPP. But then, the areas where MPP did not win, they still appoint the DCs. So they shut NDC out. They have all the constituencies to themselves. They appoint the leaders, and so they do whatever they want. Meanwhile, if it was by virtue of constituencies you win and districts within that constituencies, you appoint the leaders, the government will not have that free hand in doing whatever they want. And so when you look at Ghana as it is, some districts, nothing is going on. In some districts, their roads and everything is perfect. because government is putting money in there. Why should that be when this is a nation and we don't look at, okay, we are getting cocoa, we're getting bauxite, or we're getting minerals from, let's say, Takwa area. So from Asankragua to Takwa, let's make sure their roads are okay. Let's ensure that Galamsey is not even destroying the road that has been built. Nothing of that sort is taking place. So they build the road, allow Galamsey to go on, and people even digging under the road so that the road will collapse. We have done our part, and so nobody cares. Is this how to build a nation? Is this how to make a nation strong? And so somebody from Samra Boy who is having problem and need to be transported to, say, Asankragua Catholic Hospital, gets stuck somewhere in the middle of the road. My very best friend was a teacher at a village near Odan. She got pregnant, being transported from that village to Odan Hospital. She died on the way.
Which town are you talking about in Odan?
I'm talking about Achimoda.
Achimoda. Which part of Achimoda are you talking about?
I won't mention the village.
Okay.
Yeah. So this person was being transported, because if I mention the village, I'm also giving the identity of the lady.
I think it's, if once you mention the village, then we also get to know that at least you are speaking of either Manso, Irebi, or Abuabo, or whatever, or in Achimoda. At least you get to know the situation there. Okay. You don't believe that will work if you should mention the village or the name of the town?
Well, I will reserve on that.
Right.
If you don't mind.
Kindly go on.
So when situations of that nature happen, and you look like all these villages, they've had a minister coming from that area, yet the roads are all bad. Why? Doesn't he care? And people are losing their lives over things that shouldn't be the case. It's very sad. And these are some of the things that I look at it every day. When I look at it, I say, NDC and NPP have done a lot of disservice to this nation. And Ghanaians need to stand up and say, enough is enough. We don't need NDC. We don't need NPP.
Have you seen government's performance tracker? Have you seen it? It was launched some days ago. Have you seen that?
The government tracker was something that they took from one Mr. Asa Ewuku. He spoke about it right here at this station somewhere last year. Performance evaluation. And he worked in Rwanda, and he was talking about it 3 weeks or a month after they said performance tracker. But Asa Ewuku, who mentioned this, nobody brought his name in. If they actually want it to work, you call the person with the vision to come and help you implement it. The same way the one district, one factory, everything has failed, because they take the vision, it sounds good, we are going to implement it, and people think they're going to do something good with it, and they mess things up, because when you leave the visioneer out of the vision, it's just a dream. And that is what NPP and NDC has been doing.
But aside the fact that, like you mentioned, an idea of someone has been taken, or you want to put it stolen, and all that by the government when it comes to the performance tracker, you don't think it's a good platform for people or Ghanaians to check what government has done so far? Even though as we speak, there have been over 50 misinformation on a platform.
Misinformation?
A lot of conversation. You still don't believe it's a good platform for Ghanaians to track government's work?
You see, it's just political propaganda. They have nothing good to tell Ghanaians for the amount of money and loans and other things they have contracted. And the amount of work that has been done with it is very, very abysmal. And this is nothing to draw home to.
IMF money is still coming in.
Well, the money is coming in. You see, when you take in a loan, the loan has to be something that will bring in returns.
Right.
So, given all the monies that have been borrowed, right, and are ready to be repaid from 2026, 2027, 2028. These monies that has been taken will have to be repaid. Right now, the economy is such that the government is not breaking even with income, taxes and all those things. So are they going to tax Ghanaians some more? Find every way to tax Ghanaians until people cannot bear it.
There's a new tax out there. I mean,
okay, there we go.
Ghanaian resident tax. If you are living outside the country or something, you might be taxed.
So all these taxes tells you that the government doesn't know what they are doing. You are, and Akufo-Addo rightly said, yetisikaso ekomdiye. Yes, there is money in this country if we have the heads that will work to harness the resources in the country. But they make the pie smaller. You continue making it smaller by stealing and making the people poor. And so when you give them gifts to go and vote for you, they think you've done something for them. That is very, very wicked. And it is a wicked government that will do that.
You call them government wicked?
Yes. What they're doing to Ghanaians is wicked. And they need to change and do something better than what they are doing. You see, when the Bible even says, and every Ghanaian will say, I am a Christian or I am either a Muslim. And the Bible says, when a bad government is in power, the people suffer. So if Ghanaians are suffering, they should know that their government is not in good place. There is wickedness.
IMF predicted Ghana's economy to grow by over 4% by the end of the year. You don't think there's, at least we are seeing some positivity in the economy? You don't believe that?
You see, even going to IMF itself is a problem for... Okay, let me put it this way. We have the resources that we can harness, use, and make our nation great and strong.
Right.
Instead of going to the very people who did not even want us to be independent. And so, when any Ghanaian leader goes to them begging, have a cap in them, eventually that leader is seen as a good leader because then he's become a very good poodle for the West. And that is neocolonialism. And that is why I say that NDC and MPP are agents of imperialism. And we need to make sure that we get our second independence.
And you believe that with 9 months to go, a third alternative can oust these two political parties?
Sure.
Dominating two political parties?
Yes, we can. I am very, very sure we can do this. Ghanaians have come to the point that they have lost hope. Yes, what they are doing, if you look at the Pavlovian theory, when you place a dog in a cage, put shock at the entrance, and then you want the dog to come out, soon as he steps at the gate, you put the shock on the dog. When you do 1, 2, 3, now leave the door open and expect the dog to come out, the dog is never coming out. That is how they have already conditioned Ghanaians. Ghanaians are afraid to take the bold step. And so somebody will have to come and remove that shock that they have put there. And that is what the coalition, and that is also the reason why I am advocating for the coalition. And I'm hoping that Alan Tremantin is listening to me. Bediako is listening to me. We all need to come together and select one. They should all put aside personal interest. Let us look for what is in the best interest of Ghana.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I've been talking to OWURA NTIM AGYARKO, and he is the leader and founder of People's Liberation Front and also Grand Coalition Diaspora Leader. And he said, as at this point, a third force is most needed, or a must for Ghanaians to be able to collapse the duopoly we have here in the country, being the NDC and the NPP, here on 101. I am Bright, Nana Kwesi Amenin. Have a good night.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.